This is the plaintiff, John Avila. He says the defendant did some tree work on his neighbor's property and drove a big rig onto his grass, causing damage, and now won't compensate him for it. He tried to reason with a stubborn man, and all he got in return was a threat. He's tired of dealing with a lunatic and is suing him for the $260 he's owed. This is the defendant, Jeff Buchanan. He says he's been in business 37 years, thank you very much, and he knows how to take care of his customers. He went over to take a look at the plaintiff's property after he complained and didn't see any damage. The plaintiff's acting like an irrational child, and there's no way he's going to pay for something he didn't do. He's accused of lousing up a lawn.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff says the defendant's a tree guy who drove his rig onto the plaintiff's property and damaged the grass, but the defendant says he inspected and there was no damage. It's the case of ignorance of the lawn is no excuse.
Thank you, Douglas. John Avila, you are suing Jeff Buchanan Enterprises Incorporated, represented here by the owner, Jeff Buchanan, for $260, a cost that you say you had to pay to repair your lawn after they damaged it. You are the landscapers for the property next door to him?
The tree service contractor for the next door property.
What's going on?
Well, at the end of August of last year, I was involved on a restoration project in my front lawn area with the city.
What's that mean, a restoration project on your front lawn area with the city? What's
I was given a notice of violation.
That's not with, you're not with the city. The city really doesn't care. They're not your partner in this. They're just like, fix it up. All right.
Yeah,
Is
so
this where you live
up.
or is this a rental?
It's a rental property.
Okay, yeah. So you got a notice of violation and a fine of how much?
There's no fine. I just had to get it fixed. I
Okay.
had 2 weeks to get it fixed. So I involved a landscaper. We had the fix involved new sprinkler system, some rototill, seed planting. And
what's rototill?
That's where you dig it. You rototill the lawn. You plant the seeds. You know.
So rototill is like what's rototill?
The top layers.
The top layer, just kind of with this like these teeth, this rolling thing.
Rototill is a turning of the soil.
Okay, a turning of the soil. Okay, go on.
And then some drought-tolerant landscape, which is rocks around a certain area.
Yeah.
And so we started on the project, and about the week, so that was the end of August, so the week of September 9th, we were about 80% completed. All we had to do the following weekend is lay in the PCV the pipe for the sprinklers, fit into a schedule.
Okay, so then what happened?
So then I was at the dentist on September 9th. I get a call from my tenant saying that someone had parked a large rig on my lawn with stabilizer bars and was pulling around the yard trying to find a position to cut the trees next door.
Ah.
Yeah, so I left the dentist and I went to the property and saw his crew and asked him who gave him property to park the rig and move the rig on my property.
Who gave him permission to park their rig on your property?
Yeah, and who gave him permission to cut all the garbage down in my yard and block the driveway.
Wait, garbage down in your yard, what does that mean?
Tree branches from the adjacent property.
Well, okay, so they were falling in your yard?
They were cutting them down under my driveway.
When you say cutting them into, they're cutting them and not catching them.
Right.
So they are trespassing, and the rig is trespassing, and the branches for the moment are trespassing.
The branches
they
are
haven't left yet.
That's
Okay,
possible,
go ahead.
Yes. And they were also blocking the driveway. So my tenant comes out, and he asked, first of all, when he asked them, how long are they going to be, who gave them permission, they didn't know. So they called me, I went over to the property. I talked to the crew, and they had no idea. No one gave them property to go on the go on the park.
No one gave them permission.
Permission to go on the property.
Those are two different words.
Right. No,
okay.
No one gave them
permission to go on the property. Go ahead.
So then I called Mr. Buchanan and left a message. Went back to my house. He called about a half hour later. Denied any wrongdoing.
What did he say?
He said, first of all, I asked him who gave him permission to park on my lawn. He said he didn't have my phone number. So then he said that,
That's who gave him permission? Okay.
So he said, there's nothing wrong with your lawn. It looks terrible. We didn't do anything to your lawn. It's just, we had nowhere else to park the rig. And he says, I could take a pickaxe to it and I can show you that we've not done anything to your yard. So
meaning what?
Meaning that he was threatening to tear up my lawn, my front lawn.
No. What did he, well, I don't know. That's one way to look at it. The other way is what? What did you mean when you said I could take a pickaxe?
The ground had not been rototilled, prepped for sod or seed.
Meaning that it was rock solid.
Yes.
So your point was to tell him, hey, no harm, no foul. Why did you park on a man's property without his permission? I didn't have his phone number. Really?
We've parked there on a regular basis with permission from his tenants. We've worked at that property for
Really? Because the tenants are the
years.
ones that took him out of the dentist's chair. So apparently the dentist didn't like, the tenants, those are two different words too. The tenant didn't like
So if this guy had permission in the past, does it give him permission to keep doing it in the present?
No.
So he has to get permission every single time?
Yes, I would think so. Yeah.
What do you say? Every single time? Or if somebody gives you permission once, can you keep going back and do it?
Every time. You should ask every time. It's personal property, and if you're damaging it...
Fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
What authority? Each and every time you have to have authority, you have the right to park. How big is your rig?
It's a
Do you
26.
have a picture?
I have pictures.
20 what?
26,000-pound aerial
Oh,
lift.
that's nice. How do you know that the guy didn't just put a new sprinkler system that you're destroying, or a septic tank or something like that? What right do you have to just park your rig wherever your rig feels like being? That's not okay.
We've asked permission.
In the
and
past. Did you
from
ask
the
permission
tenants.
this time, sir?
I don't know if the crew got permission.
Okay,
or
well,
not.
do you have evidence that you received permission this time, yes or no?
No.
Then you are a trespasser. Now there's a second question, which is, what are the damages? Because in every lawsuit, there are two questions. One was a wrong committed. Clearly, a wrong was committed. The second part is, how wrong did you do me? So now you need to explain to me, because according to him, the thing is you're in the process and you haven't done anything. According to him, I'd like to see pictures, because I need to hear it from, I need to see evidence, not just flapping gums from a litigant.
I have evidence here. I have some pictures.
Good.
He drove the rig around the yard and settled in one place, the best place to cut the trees. So that's
Right. The place that was good for him. Right. Okay. What is this? I think I'm gonna need you to come here,
Okay,
please,
sure.
and show me what I'm looking at in each picture. So, right there. All right. That's the rig?
Okay, that's the rig, yes.
Oh, it's enormous.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had some seeds planted over here, some lawn seeds in certain areas, and they were just, the lawn was scraped when they pulled this on somehow. So it looks like they're.
Are you only? Can I see some area that wasn't purportedly damaged? Because what he's going to say is the whole place looked like that, Judge. He hadn't done anything yet.
Well, I don't have pictures of it prior to.
Well, no.
the work.
Are you suggesting he drove around every inch of your property and scraped every inch of it?
I'm not suggesting that. I'm suggesting he ruined somehow.
That's right, that he ruined some of it, right?
Right.
The parts he touched.
But not every inch
Can you
of it.
show me anything he didn't touch in the pictures so that I can see that, in fact, something had been done? Because when you look at this, it doesn't look like stuff has been done. You understand what I'm saying? So do you have any evidence from the folks that you had hired?
Well,
like just
I've got
something to buttress your case?
Just some receipts, the receipts that I paid for the work.
That's good.
No. So should I just
Why
tell
are you
him?
suing for only $260 if you paid 80% so far? Because that's all it costs to redo?
That's all it costs to repair.
Do you have the bill for that one?
Yeah, they're right there.
What day was he on your property?
The 9th.
Of September?
Yes.
Is there any dispute about that, sir?
No.
Okay. So he has a bill from September 4th that charges him $730, as his testimony was, for cleanup, $50, seed and topping, $150, and irrigation sprinklers, $530. Then you plant yourself on his land on September 9th. Everybody's in agreement on that. And then on September 16th, he gets an additional bill of $260. Why on God's green acres are you fighting this?
I have submitted video evidence for you to see, Your Honor.
Okay.
That will show the condition of the property at approximately 11:30 when our trucks were off of the property. He called me at 10 o'clock.
Let's see it. I want to see it.
He called at 10, and I was at site at 11:30 to see what's going on, because I always meet my problems straight on. I don't try to avoid things. And when people try to cheat me out of something, that's when I dig in my heels. I have 3 videos on there, Your Honor.
Okay.
One of them shows approximately 11:30. Right after I got there, I videotaped what was going on.
Okay.
And then a couple weeks ago, I went back after I was served. So I went down back to his property and videotaped on a rainy day what it looked like after
Hold on, because I want to hear.
There's no evidence of any rotor tilling, no evidence of any new installation of sprinklers. All the trenches are wide open. There's nothing here that indicates anything for a brand new lawn. The ground is hard on the ground. You can't even get it in the ground. He's saying that this area was recently rotor tilled and overseeded. You look at the dry cracks in the lawn area here, there's no evidence whatsoever of any fresh lawn.
You know you're trespassing again while you're taking the video?
He messed it up.
I'm at 1-1.
And then you trespass and you hit his thing with...
Videotaping the brand new lawn. The property owner here says we damaged this brand new lawn and that he had to pay an additional $260 to have this lawn repaired. Of course, it's raining today. stand back so you can see the tree that we were trimming. Just adjacent to his property.
If you can't use another man's property for your rig, you need a bigger rig, right?
Reach over above this. It's a 60-foot man lift. Reach over above the telephone cables and
could you have done that this day, or no?
We wouldn't be able to reach the entire amount of the tree.
So the answer to my question is you'd have to rent a bigger rig, which is very expensive for the homeowner or you. But you know, just because it's going to cost you a lot doesn't mean that you get free reign of somebody else's property. That's just how it goes. Based on what I'm looking at, I am satisfied that there's $260 in cost to repair lawn damage. I understand what you're saying. This lawn is not like a beautiful lawn. If the guy was suing for $2,000, I'd be, you know, all he's suing for is the additional bill he got after you left, which is for stuff that was in the original bill. And you have a blatant trespassing. You guys are on clear notice now. The man does not want your 26,000-pound rig on his property anymore. So whatever incredibly expensive way it's going to be, too bad, so sad for the homeowner, okay? I'm ruling in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of the $260. That's my verdict.
Well, he dug his heels in, but you kind of slid back a little there. The heels kind of slid in the mud there. What's your reaction to what the judge said? You lost this case because of a trespassing issue.
I disagree, because in my state, in California, it's a legal trespass to enter somebody's front yard. You don't have to have permission. To park the vehicle, yeah, maybe. But as far as like
that's what we're talking about. Parking the vehicle.
In the future, well, in the future, we're going to trim that tree again, and where the limb's going to fall. So, you know, it's probably a good thing that we did get in there right in the early stages of his, you know, city mandated.
You're going to park that vehicle on property that's not legal in the future, or are you going to ask next time?
We always ask if there's somebody to ask.
Okay.
Sir?
And if there isn't,
thank you.
They just do it. Well, what's your feeling? You only sued for $260. Why?
That's all it costs to repair the lawn. I'm not out to gouge anybody. I just want fair compensation for what I paid out. Mm-hmm. That's all.
Were you trying to teach this guy a lesson?
I absolutely was. I don't want him to do it again next time, because if I didn't come here, if I didn't file a suit, he would have did it the next time.
He says the branches are going to fall down on the property next time.
Well, if he calls me beforehand, we can work something out. You know, I can give him permission to go on my property. I don't have a problem with that. He needs to ask. It's a matter of common courtesy.
Okay, what do you got, Harvey?
Okay, clearly judging from the hallway, this defendant has not learned his lesson. He is going to get screwed. He will be nailed if he keeps doing this. And frankly, I hope he does. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.